Okay, for this project, for the skin tone, I'm going to use 3 colors: titanium white, burnt sienna, ultramarine violet for the darks. It's going to be, I'm going to make it really, really simple. So the burnt sienna I'm using is Winsor & Newton. It's a bit more orangey and transparent. But any burnt sienna will do. If you find your burnt sienna is too thick or too, not too thick, actually, I should say more on the raw pink side and opaque, add a bit of orange in it, or yeah, I would say a bit of orange will do. We'll make it a little bit more orangey. The reason I'm saying I'm making it orangey is just because it's a scene that is more on the, you know, sea and sun, and the skin tone is a little bit more on the orange side. But any skin tone is fine, no problem. Okay, so I'm going to start with, I have here a number 4 bright brush, and I'm going to start with a combination of ultramarine violet and burnt sienna. I'm going to add a touch, very small amount of white, really not too much. I'm going to paint exactly where the darks are, where the shadow is. Down here. There's a strong shadow right here. And over here. Let's do that right there. Face. To dry darker. This is acrylics. Just go over it. Now, I'm going to pause. Okay, I zoomed in. And now I'm going to take medium tone. So I'm going to take burnt sienna and white only. And I'm going to come here. And give it a medium tone, medium skin tone, not too light and not too dark. At this, this is a small painting. This is a 8 by 10. So really, I'm not concerned too much about details, you know, the back, muscle. I just want a very soft kind of skin tone. And soft transition. Very simple. Should have done this down here. Right. This is really in a shaded area. So I'm trying to keep it simple. I don't want too many layers. And take the mid-tone and give it a little bit of highlight here. I'm going to be highlighting more because there's a strong light here. All right, I need to switch my brush. And I'm going to come here where the fingers are. And put color in here. Fix this side. Of the skin and the shape of the arm. Right, now let's go back. Now I'm going to start adding burnt sienna and more white. Not too much because I'm going to keep some room for more highlights. Right, so okay, let's do that. Start from here. That's where the strong light is. And you can see slowly I'm getting a good highlight. Maybe I highlight it a little bit more. Okay. Right here. This brush will allow me to do a bit of blending between the light and dark. See, the dark is drying darker than it should be, but that's okay. I'm gonna take more of the burnt sienna and just blend and get that mid-tone in between the highlighted area and the dark. Really kind of very soft blend. Even if you use burnt sienna only, that's fine. Just kind of a bit of a transition, soft transition. Take more white into my burnt sienna, and I'm just going to highlight the hand. This is where it catches more light. Light's coming from left. Now I'm going to take a lot more white. Shoulder. A lot more white into my burnt sienna, not white only. Acrylic dries darker. I always mention that. So sometimes I really have to have some wait for the paint to dry before I adjust my values. This is still should be lighter than this. So I'll wait for it to dry and then I will adjust again. Neck catches more light in here. And then slowly the light goes in down darker. There is in the picture kind of here a little kind of dark where the muscles, the back muscles turn in. So now it's okay. I'm just gonna make my blush. And then I'm gonna come back with my highlighted color and go around it and just slowly kind of work on this area. Darker down here. That's where the darkest part is. So I'm adjusting all of those, the darks and the highlights now. So the whole idea is to get, even if you don't have this part, which is the dark part in between for the where the muscles are, that's okay. As long as you have a light, medium, dark, that will be enough. I'm going to go in and soften a bit this part. I mean, kind of give it a little bit of a highlight in here, just a bit, and here, where the arm is. This is the back, and this is really, honestly, this, even if you leave it at this, it'll be fine. Doesn't need more than this. I'm going to take more of the strong highlight here, mixing burnt sienna and white, and I'm going to come here and add this on the side. This is where the light is hitting. Okay, one more, just a bit more. Stronger white, or stronger, more white into my burnt sienna, and just kind of adjust the highlights. Fix a bit strong highlight here on the shoulder, on this shoulder. I'm just going to darken with mixing ultramarine violet and burnt sienna, darken this area here a bit. And now I'm going to pause and go back to switch colors, and I'm going to be using working on the swimsuit and the straps. For the swimsuit, we're using ultramarine blue, and I'm going to put the first layer, dark ultramarine blue. My brush, more control, round brush. It's a good round brush, strong. Push that out a bit. Let it dry. Actually, I can put some white now, just a little bit of white for this area, because there is a highlight here. It will dry darker, and if it doesn't dry darker, I will go back and darken, glaze it with ultramarine blue. Now, let's move on. Straps, white and ultramarine violet. We don't, these are white straps, but we don't want to start with white straps only, with white only. So I'm going to be doing here, one, and another one here. And right here. Now, is this a bit awesome? Very good. Now, I'm going to take white, mix it on my brush, just white. Highlight this area, part of this part and this part of the straps. And down here, this is where I see the sun hitting this area. Okay. So take your highlighter all the way down for the straps. And that's it. That's all we need to do. That's it, done. Very simple. I will take a bit of white, just white, on my brush. Last thing, and I'm going to put a bit of white here, a little bit of white maybe here. It gives the skin, it makes the skin look like it's shiny. It's nice, just a nice little kind of. That's it. Good. Now you can highlight this part as much as you want, if you like. We can go back, take, because it's drying. The paint is drying, so the acrylic. So we can highlight it a little bit more here, right there. Add them just burnt sienna and white, nothing else. If you like, if you like to keep it just the way it is, it's fine. Good enough. It's up to you how much you want to highlight. But as long as you have a dark, actually, since I'm doing this, I'm going to take some burnt sienna and Ultramarine Violet and just darken a little bit here where the swimsuit hits the skin. But as long as you have dark, medium, light, we're fine. Okay. And this is how it should look. Final. So next week or this week, we will be working on the hat and the shawl.